Hi, I'm Ivan Zoot. I'm the Director of Education and Training with the Andis Company, and welcome to another edition of Andis Tooltips on the Web. Today we wanted to spend a few moments with you to talk about adjusting the blade on your Andis T-Outliner trimmer. Now, adjusting the blade goes by many names out there in the field, in the real world. We know some people refer to it as bumping the blade, scooting the blade. The actual term for it is what we call zero gapping. The gap refers to the distance between the top of the tips of the teeth of the moving blade, the cutter blade, what we call the upper blade, and the top of the tips of the teeth of the non-moving blade, the still blade, what we call the lower blade. While the Andis Company doesn't necessarily endorse, recommend, or suggest that you adjust your blades from the factory setting, we do recognize that in barbershops and hair salons across the country, many folks choose to do this. As a result, we thought it would be good to spend a few minutes to share with you a couple of tips and tricks. Number one, we're going to remove the blade. If you're going to adjust an existing T-Outliner blade, you need to take the blade off. That's 2 screws on the back of the blade, and the blade comes out. If you're not doing that, if you're installing a new blade, you would take your new blade out of the package. When the blade is removed or taken out of the package, it will look like this. There's several key parts. There's the upper blade, there's the lower blade. There are 2 screws that hold the T-guide in place. This brown piece here is called the T-guide. The T-guide is responsible for positioning the upper blade on the lower blade and determining that degree of closeness and the blade's relative position. So in order to move the blade up or scoot the blade up or zero gap the blade, you need to loosen these 2 screws. So we're going to set the upper blade aside. We're going to use a small screwdriver to just slightly loosen the screws. Notice we don't back them out or take them out. We loosen them enough that the T-guide can wiggle freely. Then we will set the cutter blade, set the upper blade back on the T-guide, and now it's time to position and tighten the screws. I have frequently recommended that the positioning be done using a hand mirror because mirror glass is super flat. Set the blade combination down, holding the blades together with the teeth against the glass. That will ensure that we don't have an overbite. Then we will tip it towards us. Hold it at the edge of the mirror, tip it down towards you like that. That will cause the cutter blade, the upper blade, to scoot back just a fraction of an inch. When we have done that, we'll pick up our screwdriver and we'll tighten the screws again carefully. Once we've done that, we want to check the blade. The best way to check the blade is with the soft, squishy part of your thumb. Set it on the blade and draw against the teeth in this manner. If there's a tiny little portion of a fraction of a millimeter of a tooth sticking out beyond the non-moving blade, you'll feel it, it'll snag against your thumb, and that's not safe. You'll want to loosen the screws again, reposition the blade, and tighten the screws one more time. And go back and do it again, and check it every time until it's smooth and even. You really don't want it to be flush, but you want it to be set back as close as possible without extending beyond it. That's set up beautifully. It is closer than the factory setting, and it is at a safe distance from the edge to allow crisp and clean lines, yet not cut a client. That's the information we have for you today on how to adjust the blade on your T-Outliner trimmer. The process is similar for an Andis Outliner 2. That's the square blade model. Be careful, take your time, and check the blade to confirm that the blade is lined up properly. Thanks for watching today. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Check us out at andis.com on the web. Click on the box that says Ask the Expert and type in your questions. We're there to help any way we can. Thank you, and have a great day.